I didn't feel like recording myself, so you get a picture of my cat, who's perfect in every way. So he's a perfect opening. Um, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I had to make a logo for my Etsy shop because I kept putting it off. So I figured that would be the perfect first YouTube video because this is my first one. So let's get right into that. I know the camera angle sucks. Also, I'm not scripting anything because I live life on the edge and it gives that fun little charm. So, I started off with a slight idea of what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to do crows in some way, just because they're little menaces and I love them. So I had Pinterest up and I had my references out, and I was at first just doing sketches of crows, which I tried to show, but it didn't really work very well. And I struggled with a bit trying to figure out the composition that I wanted, because I don't know how to make a logo. I've never made a logo before. It's probably not the best logo, but I liked it. So I had come to the idea to include my cat in some way because I really like my cat, and I thought he would be really cute to include. And I make stuffed animals, kind of. So I decided to include him in the crow's mouth. And as I went through this, I realized that it probably looked a little off. It was a bit concerning, I think, because I made edits later on, but at first it did not look like a stuffed animal. It just looked like a cat, which wasn't what I was going for. But I figured it out. I was just trying to get it to look like my cat, and here I was pulling up my Etsy shop so that I could look at the picture that I had of my cat, because my logo was temporarily just a picture of my cat because it felt less boring than the preset. And I was testing trying to make a miniature version as well, which I don't know if I'll ever have to do that. It might just be for my Etsy. So here's my finished page. Might paint on it later, I don't know. Then I switched to digital. Sorry if it's a bit bumpy. Not bumpy. Now I have plenty of time. I don't need to, like, stress about time now, unless I don't want to have a bunch of gaps in my audio. I was rushing the first bit. So, switch to digital. Sorry for all the ads on the bottom. I have no idea what all the ads are. I'm so sorry. The app that I use is free with ads, and so there's always ads on the bottom. And I'm not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. So just ignore those. So when I do digital, I prefer to have my traditional sketch underneath first, and then I'll go over my sketch with red so that it pops more and I can see the lines easily. But I go in with it thinking like, oh, this can just be a sketch level, but it ends up pretty much always being my line art at the end, which is really nice because then I don't want to have to do the sketch all over again. So here I was just reworking the pose of the crow and doing all that fun stuff. It was giving me a really hard time for some reason. It just kept looking off, even though, like, I was trying to make it more realistic, I think, but then some of the things that I changed, it didn't really work. I think the mouth, on the cat was the hardest thing in this image. His silly little mouth. I realized that my cat, like my actual cat, has a very like animated cat face, and I kind of wanted to go with that because it was cute. Uh I kept thinking Garfield, but I don't actually know what Garfield looks like, so I don't think that's an accurate comparison. I gave it the little eyes, the little sleepy eyes that almost all of my drawings have. It's really easy, and I feel like it looks cute, and it's kind of like a signature thing now, just because I don't want to put in the effort of drawing eyes. So they all look a little sleepy. I don't know why. I was very, like, struggling with the ears as well. The cat, just in general, gave me a really hard time for no reason. You can kind of see in the sketch there the little stitch marks on the arms. Yeah, there I go. I had to go in at the end and add more because you couldn't really see them. And again, it just looked like a normal cat. Like, it just looked like a dead cat in this crow's mouth, and it was bothering me really badly. Have that little tail shape, that's very much so my cat. He has, the tip of his tail is broken, and so it's kind of rounded compared to other cats where it's smooth. So he has a little bump on his tail, and it makes it like puffy. It looks puffy on the end. So I have to include that in the art whenever I draw him. He's never been in this form before in artwork for my things, but whenever I was trying to start a band, which did not work, my logo and my band name was after him, just because he's great inspiration. He's very cute. I like animals. It works perfectly. The eyes were creeping me out really badly, and I liked them better in the sketch, so I had to go in and sketch them exactly off of it. And there I go, fixing the crow's head shape, because that's one of the things I tried to make look more realistic, but it just did not want to give me the time of day. So I had to smooth it back out like I did my sketch. It's so cute. So here I was doing kind of like an underpainting. Not really. I was doing a base layer so that I could do the lock transparent pixels, and then I wouldn't have to like go and erase the edges, just so that it gave me like a solid base to then change the colors on top of. It's not really like an underpainting because underpaintings affect colors, and that's a traditional art thing. I mean, I'm sure you can do it in digital. I don't know. It also helped pop in comparison to the red, so I could see some of the gaps. Um, at least that's what I was thinking while I was doing it. And then when I went in coloring, there were still little gaps everywhere. So, maybe it wasn't the best plan. So then I was trying to figure out color for the crow, because solid black wouldn't really work. I tried, but it didn't really work. So you have to kind of not do that. I went for a purple toned dark gray instead, because in comparison to the other colors, like you'll see at the end, in comparison to the other colors, it doesn't look that gray. Like, it looks dark enough. And then I was trying to color the cat, which was unnecessarily hard because I put way too much effort into it for something that's supposed to be really cartoony. I ended up at one point during this, going and finding my cat so that I could look at him while I was coloring, because I couldn't really pull up any pictures because I was doing this on my phone. So I had my live model. I just had to go and look at him. Yeah, I don't really know why I put that much effort into it. Like, it's not that big of a deal, and some of the colors are still off, and I just had to be like, it doesn't matter. People are gonna know that it's most people aren't gonna know that it's my cat unless I tell them or unless they know my cat. So it really shouldn't have been a big deal, but I was like, he's really cute, and so I wanted to. Like, nobody needs that much pattern. It's just a silly little guy. I don't really know how to draw stripes. I haven't really worked on it since Warrior Cat's phase. So I just went with simplistic little lines, because, I mean, it looked similar enough to him. And he looks so sad. My poor baby, he looks so sad. And then I went and did shading. I don't really do rendering. Like, I want to try it at some point, doing a painterly style digitally, but that's really difficult, and I don't have any patience at all, ever. So my cartoony style will have to do. I got jump scared by that ad while I was drawing, the one with the little, like, crawling image. Had to do all the little shadings of the babies. My cat's name is River. I felt like that was important information, and so now you know. His name is River, and he's the cutest. Cannot sing his praises enough. Lighting was really confusing. Most of my art, I don't really render. I don't color a lot. I mean, I do when I go digital. But it's not my strong suit. I get really overwhelmed when it comes to doing line art and coloring and shading. Like, I enjoy it, but it's not, I'm not perfect at it. But the lighting was really confusing because it's a bird, and birds are kind of shiny. Like, I mean, like, birds are pretty shiny. I had my reference out, and I still was like, how do I portray this in my art style? And my highlights were just kept being way too light. So that's what I ended up going with. And then I was changing the line art color. I ended up going with solid black so that you could actually see the line art. I prefer colored line art. Oh, and there I was, losing my layers. I didn't know what was going on. I prefer colored line art. I feel like it makes it look really soft and nice. But you can't really do that when the piece is so dark. I mean, like, you'll see, I did a slight color for the cat. Like, you can't tell too strongly. You can in comparison. But when my color palette is lighter, I prefer to do a lighter line art. I feel like it's nice. It makes it feel very cohesive, because sometimes black line art on everything can just feel very in your face. Ooh. And then came the hard part of figuring out the background, and the app giving me a hard time, and I almost rage quit there because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know, like, how to exit, and then I figured it out, and then we were fine. At first I wanted to do a central gradient like that, but it didn't really look very nice, and so I wanted to do stars instead, because I love stars, and I feel like they're pretty recognizable to my art. Sorry for the star struggle flashing. There will be a bit of flashing upcoming with my colors. I'll put a warning at the beginning of the video and a timestamp, because then I had to go through and mess with all the colors and everything. Maybe it isn't flashing, actually. I might be a liar. Well, now I don't know. Maybe I slowed the video down from when I looked at that. I don't know. Ignore me. So I ended up going with the green star and the green background and purple lettering. I love purple. I love purple and green. And I did just my handwriting for all the lettering because I felt like it's me. So my handwriting, because anything you get handwritten from me in packages would be that handwriting. So, and here I was adding in the stitches. So hopefully it doesn't look as much like just a full-on cat in a bird's mouth, because that's really sad. And I made the stitches purple because purple. I don't have any other reasoning. Like, I just like purple. I changed the color. It's not like it ties in with the lettering. It did at first, but then it clashed too much. So, you can't really tell. But there it is on my Etsy. And yeah, I love it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll try to do more. Bye!